Calben 5-star soaps for years. This is an American-made product of the highest quality and compares to nothing you will find in stores. You can buy factory direct, shipped via UPS right to your door. Check them out on the web at 5starsoap.com or call 800-340-7091. Take my word for it. Once you've used Pure Soap, you won't buy anything else. Since 1947, Calben Soap Company has been showing consumers that soap can be tough on dirt and gentle on the environment. Buy American and stay clean, as well as support InfoWars. Visit 5starsoap.com today or call 1-800-340-7091. Well, Marty, what do you have to say?
As founder and owner for over 63 years, satisfaction is guaranteed or double your dirt back. Call us at 1-800-340-7091 for a free catalog or visit our website, 5starsoap.com. Thank you.
This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365. Diamond Gusset is proud to announce the anthem of the Patriot Movement. They're offering a free CD, T-shirt, and bumper sticker with a qualifying purchase. Diamond Gusset offers great products at great prices while keeping Americans working.
I'm looking for a factory where a man can feed his family, not worried about them moving it south, closing the doors and shutting her down tomorrow. I'm looking for America.
We're American and be proud. Go to gusset.com/America.
The land of the free and the home of the brave. Seems like I just woke up one day and it was gone, long gone. But I know in my heart it's still
Again, go to gusset.com/America today.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
All right, I want to get into the latest TSA brainwashing and that ongoing saga, some other really important police state news, and just give you an example of some of the media brainwashing going on in the final segment coming up. I'll be back tomorrow, of course, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central. We will have open phones tomorrow and a bunch of important guests, including later in the week, Lord Moncton joining us from the UN summit down in Mexico, openly pushing world government and taxes on the industrialized world's industrial output. Continuing, Webster, getting into the $3.3 trillion we're now learning about going to foreign banks, but also to select Fortune 500 companies, including MSNBC. And MSNBC kept that secret, it turns out. I mean, we have real state-run media here in many cases.
Right, and you have General Electric got money from the Fed, and, of course, that's mainly GE Capital, which is a hedge fund in drag. And has been. General Electric, not really an industrial corporation anymore, mainly a hedge fund. Goldman Sachs got money. They tried to pretend they didn't. Morgan Stanley, I guess they were too desperate to even pretend. The one that strikes me the most, though, is that there's a special lending window, the Term Asset-Backed Securities Loan Facility. It's one of about a dozen of these, the TALF, Term Asset-Backed Securities Loan Facility. And here we find among the recipients Paulson and Company. Now, this is not Henry Paulson. This is not the Secretary of the Treasury. This is John Paulson. But this is a hedge fund of one of the most predatory It's part of the Anglo-American hedge fund wolf pack. Let's just see what Paulson did. Paulson was one of the hedge funds that drove Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers into bankruptcy, and they did these things. Typically, the hedge funds involved would pull their accounts out of these investment banks. They would short the stock, short the bonds, come in with credit default swaps, make bets in that regard. So you could say Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers were bankrupt anyway, but the way that they actually went bankrupt was thanks to a wolf pack of hedge funds. So Paulson does this. They blow up Lehman Brothers. The whole system goes into this absolute derivatives panic, and then Paulson lines up to get special help in the middle of the panic that they created. The second one, remember the Abacus collateralized debt obligation, the Abacus CDO. Remember Lloyd Blankfein of Goldman Sachs having to testify one long day last May. That was Abacus, and you remember that Paulson was one of the people who helped design the Abacus CDO so that it would go bankrupt.
But I see something even bigger here. Remember Henry Paulson, who was the head of the Treasury, being questioned by Congressman Stern and others. Well, how did you get $200 million yourself out of a bailout? And he said, well, I gave myself a waiver. But no wonder Goldman Sachs didn't want people to know that they got even more money secretly, because that's a direct conflict of interest, because they had their coterie of people at the SEC, Treasury, the Fed, everywhere. And it was Henry Paulson who went in and said to Congress, give us the money or there'll be blood in the streets and martial law. That came out in mainstream news after we broke it with some congressmen that we had here on air who were in those closed-door meetings. So here they are, engaging in financial terrorism, saying, give us trillions, don't ask where it's going. And Congress said no, so they ran out and said we were going to have a depression, which panicked everybody. I mean, is this not financial terrorism, Webster?
Well, I think that the depression is real. In other words, the decline in the U.S. standard of living by 2/3 over about 40 years, that's real.
Sure, but I mean, they're writing, but it's like Dr. Strangelove. They're writing the H-bomb down, having a great time.
But in the middle of it, of course, in the middle of the depression, there are then conspiracies, and that's what we've just described, that they come in and say, well, the answer to the depression which we created is to give us even more public largesse. I also wanted to add that Paulson, right, the Paulson and Company, they were part of the hedge fund wolf pack attacking Greece. So they've helped to create the two phases of this depression. So I would ask, what public purpose is served by subsidizing Paulson and Company so that they can come back? Maybe they're shorting U.S. government bonds. So you're paying for the guy who's going to try to come and kill you. I think it's ridiculous. Here's what I would do. You look at all this money, right? You get $3.3 trillion. Now, this money was wasted. It was all spent on derivatives, zombie banks, hedge fund hyenas, asset strippers.
You write it off. We don't owe this money. Ron Paul has said that.
Well, what we should do is that money could create a recovery. In other words, you take that $3.3 trillion, you make that 0% federal lending, not to zombies and parasites, but to productive industry. That's what we get. 100 nuclear reactors, 1,000 hospitals, 100,000 miles of fast rail, rebuild the interstate highway system, and rebuild all your water systems, sewage systems, canal systems, rebuild a whole bunch of public buildings. You could begin to create 30 million jobs with that money. That money could have given
But here's the problem, Webster, and we've been having you on this whole time. That didn't happen, and so we edge closer, as the Chinese say in Bloomberg today, in total dollar devaluation and a meltdown of our economy.
Yes,
Webster,
back. The point is, a recovery is within reach anytime you want it. If they can give $3.3 trillion to zombie bankers in the form of loans, why don't we just reverse those values? Let's reverse the field.
No, I hear you. Webster,
no more loans for zombie bankers, only for productive infrastructure. We can get a recovery. We can pull ahead of China anytime we want to.
Sure, the problem is the zombie banks run the country. We've got to prosecute them and remove them first.
Time to mobilize. Time to have those as demands. In other words, when you know what you want, you can demand it, right? Time to shift the cost onto the zombie bankers. Time to stop their fraud closures. Time to tax them, tax their financial turnover. But the main thing is seize the Fed, nationalize it, and use it for national credit creation, for national infrastructure and job creation.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's us or them, but Webster, I'm out of time. But the point you make is so central. They're now announcing veterans have to lose their health care. They've got to start taxing more Social Security and freezing the COLA. They've got to raise all our taxes and cut basic infrastructure to pay everything to the banks. You know, first they've got to go. The first cuts come from them, not like this New Jersey guy, you know, posing as a conservative saying cut roads. I mean, it's asinine. Webster, great points. We appreciate you coming on the broadcast. Tarpley.net. Thank you so much. You bet. I hate to cut Tarpley off, but we're almost out of time for this segment, and I've got to come back and get into all the police state news, but just an amazing interview with Webster Tarpley. I briefly wanted to bring Ted Anderson up of Midas Resources, who also owns the Genesis Network that we're broadcast over, because all of this is getting crazier and crazier. Ted, $3.3 trillion to foreign banks, to globalist media. Americans better wake up and realize how deep down the rat hole of tyranny we've gotten.
Well, they sure better. I mean, Bernanke is going to be on here at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 6 o'clock Central, to sell us on the idea that this QE2 is a good idea for us to create $600 billion new money, most of it being given to these very banks that you're referring to, Alex. I mean, they want to push so much money into the hands of those bankers that it forces them to let it trickle down to the people who are actually creating this economic, where economic recovery, if there's ever going to be one. I don't know why they take that tact. I think Webster's right. Put the hands of the people that are productive, and we won't have these problems.
Well, Ted, let me fire this out. Bloomberg, China is scared of U.S. monetary policy. Policymakers in China, which holds 883.5 billion U.S. treasuries, are concerned the nation with the largest and the biggest economy is debasing its currency. Well, we don't need them to tell us about debasing currency to know what's happening. Bottom line, that's why gold's at $1,417. That's why silver is just a few cents away from $30 an ounce, the next all-time high. I mean, people need to understand this is the biggest hidden tax ever, this debasing of the currency.
Well, you're talking about the Asian markets, and silver opened up already higher today. It's up to $29.54, already up, above where it was. It closed on Friday at $29.40, so we're already up about 15 cents today in the Asian markets. They're saying that the United States dollar is going to get weaker, and that the precious metals is the way to hedge it. And you can see that going on in China, too,
Well, Ted,
Alex.
we don't have a lot of time. But I do want to just tell folks that brokers are there right now on Sunday night at Midas Resources. They've got the best deals on gold and silver. Tell them it's the radio special. You can get $3 silver with free shipping and 3 of my films for $97. But those prices are going up tomorrow. For anybody that knows silver prices, that's an insane deal. 800-686-2237. 800-686-2237. Stay there, Ted. Hi, this is Alex Jones. You've heard me talk about the delicious, easy-to-fix, and very storable foods from eFoodsDirect.com. I've told you for years that eFoods Direct has the best storable food on the planet. Now it's that time of year again, and their holiday special is here. They have 2 holiday-priced packs for you to put into your reserves for a secure future or to share with others. The first is a 6-month bulk supply in 10 cans. And the second is a 5-week supply of quick and easy-to-fix meals, including delicious bakery items shipped in heavy tote bags. Now, for a limited time, when you order 2 or more of these special holiday packs, you'll get free shipping on your entire order. Call now, 800-409-5633, or visit them at eFoodsDirect.com/Alex. That's 800-409-5633, or eFoodsDirect.com/Alex. Let me tell you a little bit about one of our great sponsors, HomeGain.com. This is the place to get you started buying or selling a home, finding a realtor, and getting any real estate questions answered. Go to HomeGain.com and see what I'm talking about. All you need to do is type in your home address, and you will get an instant free estimate of your home's value online. This is a great way to be able to monitor the value of your home. And again, it's absolutely free. There are tons of tools to help you. For instance, if you want to remodel your home, go to HomeGain.com. Use their Home Sale Maximizer to help you determine which home improvements can most increase your home's value before you put it on the market. For 10 years, these folks have been helping home sellers and buyers. Visit their link at Infowars.com Look for Max, the orange home gain gorilla, to help you with any real estate needs you might have. You'll love this site. It's homegain.com, HOMEGAIN.com. Check them out today. Hi, folks. This is Alex Jones asking you for a minute of your time to